Let me ask you, when was the last time you felt truly understood? I mean, not just nodded at, but seen and heard in a way that made you feel validated, safe, and even energized. This desire, the yearning to be understood, is practically hardwired into our DNA. Psychologists call it empathetic resonance. That moment when someone mirrors back not just your words, but your feelings and intentions. And yet, for many, this is a rare experience. Why is it so elusive? Why do we so often walk away from conversations feeling empty, even with those we love most? Today, let's dissect the roots of this universal need and open a door to transforming our relationships, one honest conversation at a time. You've probably been there pouring your heart out, only to get a distracted in return. Why does this happen so often? It's tempting to point fingers, to blame the other person for not listening. But here's the twist. Communication is a two-person dance, a feedback system, like a live electrical circuit. If one side shorts out, the whole thing fizzles. Ellen's story, tired, at home with restless kids, desperate for adult conversation, shows us how quickly wires can cross. Her husband, Greg, he thinks he's just avoiding conflict, but both have filters, emotional static that distorts the signal. So, next time you feel ignored, pause. Could your own frequency be part of the static? Ever said something with one intention, but got a reaction that left you baffled? This is where the concept of double filtering comes in. First, your message passes through your own clarity or lack thereof. Then, it filters through the listener's mental state, their previous experiences, even their mood. Communication theorists call this the intent-impact gap, like static in a radio broadcast. Just because you mean to be supportive doesn't mean your words will land that way. What's the fix? Feedback loops, asking, "Did that come across how I meant it?" can turn confusion into clarity, misunderstanding into connection. Try it next time and watch the dynamic shift. Here's a tricky technical term: transference. It's when we project old relationship patterns onto present conversations, like running a familiar script in a new play. Chris always feels attacked by questions from his girlfriend. Why? Because he grew up with a hypercritical sister. It's not just distortion, it's need, expectation, and memory all tangled together. The result? Emotional overdrive, making real listening almost impossible. Now you might be thinking, isn't this just therapy talk? But recognizing transference is practical. It lets us ask, are we responding to the moment or to invisible ghosts from our past? Awareness is the first step to breaking the old cycle and opening to genuine understanding. Let's flip the lens now. What happens inside the listener? Enter countertransference, a mouthful, but it's simply when the listener's own emotional baggage warps what they hear. Ever found yourself getting defensive, annoyed, or shut down in a conversation, and you're not even sure why? That's your countertransference in action. For example, Walter hates his wife's requests because they remind him of a controlling mother, even when she's just asking for help. The result? A feedback loop of resentment and withdrawal. The actionable advice: notice strong emotional reactions, pause, and ask yourself, am I reacting to what's said or to my own history? That pause is where empathy and growth begin. Have you ever listened to someone only halfway because your mind was busy plotting your own response? That's the listener's agenda at work, a subtle form of self-interest that can hijack any conversation. In Death and the Maiden, the husband can't hear his wife's pain because he's trapped by his own disbelief and the need to protect his worldview. Now you might say, But isn't that just being human? True, but awareness changes everything. Next time you find yourself tuning out or mentally rehearsing your rebuttal, stop. Ask, what's driving my impatience? Am I here to connect or just to win? Setting aside your agenda creates space for true listening and healing. Imagine entering a conversation wearing tinted glasses, every word colored by your assumptions. This is the power of preconceived notions. Seth's brother couldn't hear his pain about his son dropping out of college because he'd always seen Seth as emotionally self-sufficient. This mental shortcut, called confirmation bias, makes us filter out data that doesn't fit our expectations. The fix? Curiosity. Next time someone opens up to you, ask yourself, what if there's something here I've never heard before? Suspend judgment. Curiosity isn't just polite, it's radical, because it dissolves the invisible walls we all carry. That's how we move from hearing to understanding. Let's talk about triggers, a term borrowed from trauma psychology, but vital for everyday life. Emotional reactivity happens when a simple comment, like, "Have you taken out the garbage?" provokes a disproportionate response. Why? Because for some, it echoes a lifetime of criticism or feelings of inadequacy. A classic example of hot cognition. The result? Escalating arguments over trivial things. So, what's the action step? Name your triggers. Share them with those close to you. And when you sense an overreaction brewing, use meta-communication. Name the process. I think I'm taking this harder than you meant. That self-awareness is your best tool for diffusing conflict and building trust. Why is it so hard to just say what we mean? Social norms teach us to be indirect. "Are you cold?" really means, "Can we turn up the heat?" But when strong feelings are involved, this dance of hints and half-truths leads to misfires. Gregory Bateson calls this the dual level of communication. Report what's said and command what it means for the relationship. The danger? We argue facts when the real issue is feelings. Next time you catch yourself hedging, try this. What I really want is simple, direct, and surprisingly hard. But this is how intent and impact finally meet, and misunderstanding gives way to authenticity. Have you ever tried to have a meaningful talk in the wrong place or at the wrong time? Context shapes communication as much as content. Psychologists refer to this as situational framing. Think about it. A kitchen at 6 p.m. after a long day is a different world than a quiet walk or a private cafe booth. Add third parties, kids, friends, even a ringing phone, and intimacy evaporates. So, what's the actionable advice? Choose your moments. Signal your need. Hey, is now a good time to talk? Respect your partner's preferences. A 5-minute conversation in a supportive context can do more than hours of distracted chatter. It's not just what you say, it's when, where, and how you say it. Let's be honest, some people are just hard to listen to. Maybe they ramble, complain, or never get to the point. But here's a twist. Often they talk more with us because they talk less with anyone else. This is the principle of selective disclosure. We vent where we feel safest, even if it's messy. Now you might be thinking, should I tolerate endless repetition? There's a balance. Compassion means sometimes listening past the noise to the need, but boundaries are healthy. If you must, gently steer the conversation or invite solutions. Remember, consistent one-sidedness is often a cue about unmet needs on both sides. Awareness empowers, and compassion connects. Why do some people seem to say so little, especially about real feelings? It's rarely personality alone more often. It's a protective habit built from past hurt, what therapists call defense mechanisms. Life teaches us. Open up, get criticized or ignored, and pretty soon, silence feels safer than vulnerability. If you're dealing with a reticent friend or loved one, consider, am I signaling true interest and safety? Sometimes, a gentle invitation, I notice you seem quiet. Is there something on your mind? Can open the door, but never force it. Openness is co-created. Trust builds slowly. Your patience and presence may be the catalyst someone needs to rediscover their voice. Are men really from Mars and women from Venus? It's a catchy metaphor, but reality is far more nuanced. Gender stereotypes that men seek power and women seek connection miss the complex social and emotional factors at play. What if caring is just a strategy for those with less power and not an innate female trait? The next time you find yourself blaming gender differences for a communication breakdown, pause. Ask, what does this person truly need right now? Validation, space, or just to be heard? Moving toward partnership means unlearning rigid roles and embracing flexibility. The best relationships are built on mutual curiosity, not assumptions on listening, not labeling. Ready for the punchline? Lasting change doesn't come from analyzing every misunderstanding, but from a heroic, simple act. Stepping back from your own feelings and considering the other person's perspective. Communication scholars call this perspective taking, the capacity to see through another's eyes. Here's a challenge. For 1 week, practice letting others finish. Reflect back what you think you've heard, and only then share your perspective. You'll be amazed how often intent and impact finally align. Remember, you can't change others' patterns, only your own response. The rewards: deeper trust, fewer arguments, a sense of true connection are profound. Real growth starts with the courage to listen, not just to others, but to ourselves.